God is a great disappointment, the ultimate underachiever. There are probably more people who think this way than there are actual atheists in the world. Most believers who are honest about their experience sometime or other face the problem that God does not seem to be pulling his weight in this world. Look at the evidence. Each year, tens of thousands of people die because they do not get enough food. Even more are so weakened that they're not able to live with any semblance of the dignity we say belongs to those made in the image of God. Diseases like tuberculosis that we once thought defeated are once again becoming epidemic, and a new one, AIDS, is destroying whole societies in Africa and Southeast Asia, as well as bringing suffering and early death to many in other parts of the world. Millions of people are refugees, driven by poverty and the violence of people or nature from their homes. Injustice is rampant. Natural disasters occur over and over again. Closer to home, my life is not as I wish. Friendships end, plans fail, selfishness and laziness overwhelm hopes and dreams. I sin, I fail, I die. Atheists have chosen the easy answer. They do not have to face the difficult facts of life while holding a faith that says there is a God and that God is love. We who believe have the harder task of admitting that our God does not measure up to the standards we set. We seem willing to accept lower performance from God than non-believers are willing to do. The reason may be that we somehow realize that God's performance is actually better than we give credit for. In Exodus, God tells Moses to say to the people, "The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has appeared to me and said, 'I am concerned about you.'" Is that it? God is concerned? Is that enough? Even if it were enough to satisfy God, would it satisfy me? No. When Jesus went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion for them and cured their sick. The compassion of Jesus is proof that God is not insensitive to the pains and needs of the world. God feels for us, but does more. Jesus heals. God uses Moses to lead the Hebrews to freedom. But that was long ago and far away. What about today? If God feels compassion today, what does God do about it? The disciples come to Jesus and tell him the people are faced with hunger. They're not unlike myself or any of us when we pray, telling God to fill the hungers of the world. Jesus gives a clear answer to them and to us. You give them something to eat. Is he avoiding his responsibility or fulfilling it? Does it matter? Whether responsibly or irresponsibly, he has given us the task of answering the prayers of the world. If we call ourselves disciples, then we must obey our master. Can it be that the problems of the world could actually be solved by us, the disciples of Christ? It certainly looks impossible as feeding more than 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. It has certainly not worked yet. Of course, perhaps it's not really been tried yet. When Jesus fed the crowd, there were 12 baskets of food left over. In other words, each of the apostles worked carrying a basket. Could it be that we're hoping that someone else, God for instance, will do the task that requires every set of Christian hands? What would happen if we were to take seriously God's willingness to do the impossible through disciples? Am I willing to take the risk today to find out? God is not shirking. The answer to the prayers of the world has been given. We are that answer, or should be. Who then is the disappointing underachiever? God, who has provided the answer, or we, the answer provided?
you.